Well, I will just start by telling you what I told the team at the conclusion of the match, and that is that there's never been a question of the effort, the engagement, their focus. This is an execution story. And when you don't execute, especially in a conference like the Big 12, this is what you can expect to happen. So I liked, the effort they were giving us, but really our inability to side out, the control that Arizona took, especially early in the match from the service line, had us disjointed all night. And so when you see these side out numbers, it just quite honestly makes it impossible to win. Hopefully, like we did in set 2, you can get in a little bit of a groove, mitigate some of the damage, and you can extend the match, and hopefully those things begin to improve throughout. But that didn't happen. The side out game was an issue throughout, so that really was the story.
Can you tell me a little bit about when you have a player like Jordan Wilson on the other side?
Yeah.
I think it was
22, I think.
22 kills. Yeah. What do you have to do to try to limit that?
Hopefully get her in situations where the angles that she's receiving the ball are a little bit more difficult. Setters out of system, secondary setters giving the ball, and obviously we want our block to disrupt much of that. She was excellent as advertised, and I think that was, when you have a high volume player like that, they're going to have an impact one way or the other. And so we didn't really quite solve the puzzle of her tonight, especially I think as the match went on, I think she actually felt like it was more impactful what she was doing out there. So that was some block adjustments that I don't think we made, some defensive adjustments that we thought would work that weren't, and then again, you're kind of scrambling there because we're worried about our own side out game as well, just exacerbated when a player like her can end play so quickly.
What are some key takeaways from tonight that you want to improve upon before going?
The biggest thing, and we felt this, we felt it against TCU. There were moments against West Virginia. The reality is it exists in every match for every team. However, it's just presenting itself too often for us right now, and that is the inability to side out quickly, which means you're giving up runs, which you saw tonight. That means you're playing out of a deficit. Now, there were some times we got into a deficit, I think it was the first set, and then came back and closed it. I think we actually took a point lead, and then just like that, it disappears again because you get stuck in a rotation and you're giving up points. So it's a consistency thing. I will say Arizona was excellent from the service line and really pushed us around and did a really nice job of playing kind of a short, deep game, and we did not respond well to that. So that has a huge impact on that statistic of side out percentage.
It felt like in the kind of the third and fourth set there was some errors that were made. How do you mix that up and try to break those up when those happen?
Yeah, there were a lot of errors being made. And so, there are good errors and there are bad errors, and there was a mix of both in those situations. Just didn't think we were very creative attacking. Obviously our setters were put in some difficult spots because the passing wasn't as crisp as we'd like it. And then when the hitters were getting the ball, I don't think we were able to generate some different looks. So either we're a little bit too safe, and then you're borderline reckless when you're going too far, but it's a fine line. So we'll look at it and we will celebrate when there are good mistakes made, aggressive mistakes made, and we'll identify what other alternatives will work. Because that's another important thing here. I can sit and I can espouse how this error is bad, this error is bad. We need to give them some alternatives, and so teaching our hitters some different outs and some things that they can use in those situations, and they'll get better at it.
I saw some pretty crazy digs tonight, some pretty crazy saves.
Yeah.
How can you kind of, after getting that momentum back, how can you keep that momentum?
Yeah, I thought in the third set, it was the first time out, we were down pretty big again, and that is what spurred that comeback. Maybe it was then that we came close to got it to within one. It was the defensive effort. It wasn't always pretty, but they were just trying to extend plays and then trying to extend plays. So we do want to be able to build on that, but ultimately, long-term, as a match evolves, those defensive plays really must lead to offensive point scoring, because a dig does not count as a point. And as much as we all love the effort that they was giving, it really comes down to what did that then lead to, and it wasn't leading to much offense tonight.
One or two more.
To bounce off that, how does, when you continue to draw up plays and try to get them out there when they just aren't working or aren't executing, what do you resort to?
I don't think it's resort, which to me sounds like kind of panic mode, last ditch effort. I think that we have confidence in players. I thought Fallon did a great job coming off the bench. I think she probably hit as the highest efficiency from a pin for us, maybe over 385 in limited space. So she did exactly what we needed her to do coming out there. So what we do is we look for alternatives, whether it is some different things we can do with the personnel on the floor, or is there somebody that might come in that can give a different look. Fallon did exactly that. We tried to change it up. Going into a 6-2 in that final set with Michaela, we weren't getting much offense behind the setter with Ella, so that changes the complexity too. So yeah, it's not a resort to. I think we need to be able to lean on our bench, and they've got to come in and we have confidence, like a player, again, Fallon being the perfect example, do exactly what she did tonight. But then the others need to step up as well.
What are some positives that you can take away tonight?
Yeah, I think it is, I do believe that they are very engaged in what we're trying to accomplish. I do believe that the effort is there. I do believe sometimes that because they want it so badly, that to find some resistance across the net maybe isn't as comfortable, and they need to get comfortable with that because high-level volleyball is played long matches, extended sets. So we just got to make sure that they understand that as long as we play consistent, and then we're going to be in good shape here. But I take away again that they want this as much as our staff wants it, and we just got to do everything we can to put them in a better position to be successful.